Hey, how's it going, everybody? Alec and Stuff here, back with another video. So, I'm actually not Alec, but I'll let Alec take it away.
Okay, well, that was very convincing, but hey! How's it going, everybody? Alec and Stuff here. So, as some of you may already know, E3 is almost upon us. In just a few days, to be exact. And I can think of no one better to sit down and have a chat with about predictions, hopes, and dreams with than Mr. Proxence himself. Say hello to the people, Proxence.
Hello, it's your boy Proxence.
Yeah, not Alec and Stuff. That's Proxence. All right,
Nah.
let's make that
No,
distinction.
we had to have some fun with the intro there. Gotta hook people in.
All right. So, like I said, this is going to be our official predictions, but we'll also cover things that we're excited about, and as usual, our dream reveals as well. So, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Now, one thing, Proxence, I'm noticing about this show, as I'm looking at my notes here, is that we already know about a ton of games. So, just to kind of give you an idea, we have the big one, Animal Crossing. We've also got Super Mario Maker 2, releasing this year, Luigi's Mansion 3, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Astral Chain, and Zelda's Awakening, and of course, Pokemon Sword and Shield. So that is, it's a very packed schedule.
Yeah, you mentioned that all those are the big ones with like Animal Crossing and like Sword and Shield, but I don't know. I don't think those games are really that big. I think there's one game that's coming out that we should really focus on as the big one, and that is SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. Woo! Best game ever, coming out on Switch and other consoles, but on Switch, you know it.
All right, obviously, okay, that's gonna be, forget everything I just said. That's gonna be Nintendo's main focus, clearly during their direct this coming year. Is just dedicating, what is it, like it's a 45-minute direct, so 30 minutes of SpongeBob and 15 minutes of everything else? Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
Seems like the only option they could take.
Now, Nintendo did say that they were going to be focusing more on titles releasing in 2019, this year, but I'm fairly certain we're also going to be seeing one or two teasers of future games as well, but man, that is what, like 6 or 7 games? So anyway, let's go ahead and break these down one by one. So first up, Animal Crossing. So I'll go ahead and kind of just explain my thoughts here because there's a lot. Here's the thing. I actually did make a video explaining my full thoughts on what I want from the new game about 8 months ago. So 8 months ago was about the last time I think we actually heard anything about this game. So it's been that long. And It's a total mystery at this point, but a few things I'd like to see come from Animal Crossing for Switch include things like, just to keep it brief, more feature-filled online. Now, I know that new Leaf for the 3DS did have some capabilities of playing with friends and strangers online, but I want to see more of that included here. So a few ideas I had were things like making it easier to visit friends' towns because it was such a hassle to do so in New Leaf.
I have a fear that online is gonna be not quite what we expect, because we've seen that some other games, especially Super Mario Maker 2.
Well, that's a more recent example.
Its online is a bit iffy.
I think, okay, for all things considered, I feel like Animal Crossing New Leaf actually did online relatively well for its time, right? So I feel like the online infrastructure that Nintendo had back in, what was that, like 2014? I don't know. I can't remember.
I have no idea.
I can't remember when that game came out, honestly, but I feel like for the time it was doable. It was passable. But if they were to essentially just copy paste the online features and functionalities that they had a New Leaf to the new one, I feel like it would leave a little bit more to be desired, to be honest. Because there have been so many advancements in online, like there's party systems, voice chats. There's like I just booted up Minecraft before we started this discussion, and I noticed I know it's weird, but there's like the whole 10th anniversary thing, and I was like, I should play Minecraft. Apparently they've added so many things in recent years.
It's incredible.
It's insane.
So,
there's like realms and stuff now. I didn't even know what realms were before I booted that thing up.
They should turn Animal Crossing into Minecraft, is what you're saying, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
They should make it the same multiplayer. Make it a sandbox adventure instead of what Animal Crossing has always been.
Jeez, yeah, put that in a quote and post it in the New York Times. I'm sure that'll go over well. No, but
Awesome. I'll try it out.
I think copy pasting the online from New Leaf, I don't think would satisfy a lot of the player base. I feel like if they were to sell the idea of like social features being incorporated into Animal Crossing Switch and sell more people on Nintendo Switch Online, I feel like there would have to be more progress made in that department. So that's just one idea I had. But another idea I had that I'd love to see too is, honestly, I don't see Nintendo committing to this, but just an idea that I had anyway. Basically, it would be what I would describe as an always-on town that you could sort of run with your friends, maybe as co-mayors. I think it would be so cool to be able to see and sign in to my Animal Crossing game and load up my town and be able to see my friends working on the thing that we've built together. And I think features like these would do so much to add more social interactions within the game, but I also think they would help to better convince people on the Nintendo Switch Online as a whole. So
yeah, that would definitely be pretty cool to have that like always on. It'd probably be a hassle on servers, but I'm sure that it would bring a lot of people to the Switch who are Animal Crossing fans and they're still kind of like reluctant to swap over because they haven't seen anything for the game yet. So it'd be like pretty sweet if that was a feature, because you can just work on it with friends even when you're not on. Like you just tell your friend like, "Hey, hop on in."
like, hey man, there's some weeds growing in my house. Can you go pick those for me? Like it's stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah.
There's
you
all
just like,
go ahead.
oh, it's like a Saturday morning, you're away from home and you're like, "Dude, come on, help me out, please."
Please, man. I can't. I don't have internet right now, and like the weeds are just gonna, you know what I mean.
They're gonna just destroy my whole city. Just go, please.
So yeah, and that's basically where I'm at with Animal Crossing Switch, and I really hope that we see this game at the show because I cannot wait to finally see what direction it's gonna take.
Well, I'm sure it'll be there, like 100%. 100%. At least I hope so.
I don't know. I mean, the weird thing is that it's not on any of Nintendo's tweets about games that are featured. So I don't know.
Maybe they're just being like a bit secretive, I would say. Because if you've noticed lately, Nintendo has been a bit more secretive about announcements and games, especially with like Pokemon. Even though that is like headed by Game Freak, Nintendo does the announcements for it. So like I think they're being more secretive because they want people to be more hyped, where they don't know what's going on, but they know enough where it's like, "Ooh, I'm excited," but I don't know why. I just am. So I'm sure there will be some news on it. Hopefully.
I hope so. Do you have any current thoughts?
Current thoughts on Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
Beyond what you said, not really. You got the bulk of them.
Oh, okay, cool.
So moving on from there, another game that is worthy to talk about is Super Mario Maker 2, which was recently announced. I believe the trailer came out February, albeit that's not that recently, but it's pretty recent in the grand scale of things. And the release date is this month, right?
Yeah, it's the 28th, I think.
It's like really close. There was a direct in May on the 15th that was just jam-packed with information and clips and like examples about all the cool stuff in Super Mario Maker 2, and I'm just incredibly excited for it. I didn't play much of Super Mario Maker 1, but I watched a ton of videos on it, and it always like intrigued me that people are able to have so much creative liberty with all of these like different features from various Mario games and just turn them into maps where there's challenges, there's obstacles, sometimes quite annoying obstacles, but nonetheless, like, it's cool how people can do that. And there was a pretty big audience for the game when it was on Wii U. So I think given that it's on Switch now where there's a much larger fan base, I have a feeling that Super Mario Maker 2 is going to be huge in terms of its like initial sell through and the amount of people that are going to make maps for it. and the maps are definitely going to be way more annoying and way more frustrating because there's so many new features and so many new customizable options available. So I'm sure all the people who like dedicated their time to Super Mario Maker 1 to make those crazy maps are going to come here and they'll be like, "Hey, guess what? Your good times with this game are ruined. You thought you could win this challenge you're going through. Nope. Nope. My map's too powerful for you. I managed to win it. You can't."
Yeah.
So I'm definitely excited for that. The whole online aspect of it is a little bit iffy. I know there was a big complaint about it, and I have hopes that Nintendo saw those complaints and they'll be adjusting what's up with it, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. I hope they show more gameplay from it in the E3
Oh, for
presentation.
sure. Yeah. I definitely agree with you when it comes to how you were saying that it seems like it's going to be a very popular game. I think the initial evidence that we have of that is that it's going to have such a presence at E3 this year. They're going to be having those, what is that, like the World Championships or something alongside Splatoon 2 and Super Smash Brothers. So the fact that they're, essentially putting it on the main stage along those two titans of Switch games honestly tells me that they're going to be putting a lot into building this game up to be
Developing it.
something big. And that makes me really excited. So, but you did say that we do know a lot about this game already, and I don't personally think there will be a large presence of the game in the Direct, being that it releases so soon.
Probably like a 1 minute segment or something like that, just to show, hey, don't forget about us. It's coming out this month.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like a one and done thing, and then they'll move on. But just to kind of briefly summarize my thoughts, since we already know most of it. First off, I really like the idea of story mode. As a matter of fact, that might be one of my favorite things. Obviously, I'm not expecting, like Shakespearean levels of writing or anything. But I do think that the linear focus and the fact that these, I think they said like 100+ levels are being designed by Nintendo themselves will make for a really solid playthrough altogether. And plus, for me personally, I feel like it's going to be really satisfying to have that sense of progression through the game as well. Because like before, you were just kind of playing levels, and that was it, which was fine. But I like the idea that they're adding this too. And as far as online capabilities go, I think they're interesting. Obviously, I wish we had the ability to play with friends, and that's like one of the big complaints. But I still think it's going to be cool. I'm very much like a lone wolf player when it comes to online games, so I think I'll still find some satisfaction out of it anyway. So there's that. And one last thing that stood out to me was during the Direct, they showcased what browsing for levels online looks like. And I gotta say, it looks fantastic. Not to mention all of the new tools that creators have at their disposal for making levels. It's, in short, I am loving all the new features and enhancements that they're bringing to the game to what I think was already a great package. I mean, Super Mario Maker 1, I know you said you really didn't play it all that much, but I put quite a lot of time into it. And to me, I feel like if they had just copy-pasted what they had before, it'd have been great. But the fact that they're adding all these features and enhancements and tweaking certain things to make them better, I think it adds a lot of value to what was already an awesome deal.
I saw a comment about it when the Direct was going on, and they were like, okay, with Super Mario Maker 1, you could make your own levels and have fun with that. With Super Mario Maker 2, you can make your own game.
Yeah, basically. Well, because like the addition of slopes and stuff, I feel like that really just kind of completes the whole idea of what makes a Mario level a Mario level. I don't really
And there's so many like customizable options with your character, with the level, with just everything. It's incredible how much you can do with like everything in the game. I'm like at a loss for words just because I'm excited, I'm excited.
Yeah, like for me personally, the kind of player that I am is I'm much more of a level player than a level creator. So I'm just really excited to see everyone's levels and see what everyone creates and to be able to play through all of them. So that comes out later this month, and I can't wait.
Yeah. So what's next?
All right, Proxence. So I know you said before the discussion started that you don't really have too much experience with this franchise, but I'm going to go ahead and lay this on you anyway. So Luigi's Mansion 3, right?
I have one comment.
Go ahead.
One comment.
Before I get started.
I know that it's good. it's going to be a playable title at E3
Oh
for
yeah,
Nintendo's booth.
yeah. They announced that like what this morning, I think.
Yeah, that's literally all I know. So take the wheel.
Okay, so here's the thing with me and Luigi's Mansion, right? I love the first game, and I still do, mind you. I think it does a wonderful job at creating a dark and, spooky atmosphere. I loved all the small little details too, like Luigi nervously humming to himself when he's walking around, and the original Luigi's Mansion just absolutely nails the Haunted Mansion vibe that it was going for, and that I love. Dark Moon on the 3DS, I did not like anywhere near as much. The art style is different. The game is more well lit, thus removing some of its spooky elements. The levels are way too linear, and the total absence of portrait ghosts, one of the best things about the original, totally took away from the experience for me. So, with all that said, Luigi's Mansion 3 seems very much a mix between the two, based on what we've seen so far, with it slightly leaning towards the direction of Dark Moon, if I had to place it. Now, I'm not going to immediately say that this is a bad thing, because it's not Dark Moon. Hold on, sorry. Because Dark Moon did have some things that it did right. However, once a new trailer starts rolling for Luigi's Mansion 3, there's a few things I'm going to be hoping for, and that's going to be things like turning down the lights, making the world look more gritty and old, because everything as it looks now just appears too clean to me. I want to see portrait ghosts make a comeback, and lastly, this is something I feel like I might be in the minority with, but I thought that the Scare Scraper mode from Dark Moon was actually really fun, and I'd like to see that make a return as well. So, are you familiar with the Scare Scraper mode?
Again, all I know is that there's a demo at E3.
Okay, I feel like you and most of the people listening probably don't know what I'm talking about. So, in Dark Moon, let me explain the premise first. So, you have this giant tower, right? Hence the name Scare Scraper. And each level that you play through has an objective for all 4 players to go through. So you have like a certain time limit to go through them too, but each individual level is also randomly generated. So you can either go endless or you can go through like a set amount of levels. And it was really fun. I feel like it was a generally overlooked mode in Dark Moon, but I really enjoyed it. So that, amongst all the other things I'd said before, are going to be some of the things that I would love to see in Luigi's Mansion 3, but I guess we'll know in about a week's time and whether or not those things will come true. So,
All right, on to the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing is Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I don't know too much about it, but then again, there hasn't been an incredible amount of news on the game, unless I'm just missing everything. But it's Fire Emblem. Yeah. Help me out.
What? That's it? Okay. I was like waiting for you to say something. No. Okay. So Fire Emblem Three Houses. I think the last time we talked about this game was back in January during our Nintendo in 2019 discussion, and my thoughts haven't really changed much since then. But a couple of things we have seen since January, including things like the theme song, which I, for one, I think it goes way harder than I anticipated, and I love it. Because, well, the thing is that when I imagine a Fire Emblem song, I'm thinking like choirs, orchestration, different movements. And while this new theme song, it does have some of that, it also incorporates elements of like dubstep and EDM, creating this unique sound that I find myself so drawn to. so there's that.
I've got to listen to this now.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Yeah.
That's
crazy.
really wild.
So there's that. And also, I don't know if you or anyone else listening has been keeping up with their postings on Twitter, but every week or like other week or something, a new character has been shown off, essentially sort of drip feeding us little bits of information until the game's release in July. So that being said, this is another game I don't see Nintendo spending too much time on during the Direct, if at all. Nonetheless, though, I am super stoked to finally play this game because based on what we've seen so far, it's looking great. It's looking fuego. Super lit. I can't believe I just said that.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, let's just skip over the fact that you just said that. So the next thing is Astral Chain, and you don't know too much about this one, but I've actually been kind of keeping up with it since okay, look, I really love the aesthetic of the game.
I'll give it that. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it's like a cyberpunk aesthetic, but it's not like Blade Runner cyberpunk. It's like a little bit closer to now cyberpunk, where it's not like the year 3000. It's more so, I don't know, like 2100, we'll say, like a good 80 years from now. It's maybe what you'd expect to happen. You got these crazy policemen with their crazy bikes, and like the city, everything's holographic. You got upgraded cars that are hopefully all electric. But the biggest part that we know about the game is the aesthetic, because we've seen little gameplay features from it, and we've seen little battle snippets. There hasn't been an incredible amount of details on what they're doing with the game, even though it is coming out in August.
Oh, wow, really?
So I anticipate the direct to be pretty focused on this at one point. I'd say at least a 5-minute snippet on what this game is, maybe a little bit of details on the story, because right now all you know is that it's a group of policemen in futuristic Tokyo, I think.
I just remember seeing like a lot of blues and purples in the color
Yeah.
palette, so that's like really all I remember.
Yeah, and it's got like robots.
The impression I got was like, it seems cool, you know?
Yeah, it looks like a cool game. And the developers and the team of like art directors and everybody working on it, it's like stacked. It is stacked. Like they've got people from Bayonetta, they've got people from Nier Automata, they've got people who just do stuff in the background at Platinum Games. They've got people who do.
Oh, is this a game developed by Platinum?
Yeah,
Oh, it's gonna be great then.
it's gonna be incredible.
Oh, it's
Like,
gonna be great then. I didn't know that.
just the aesthetic makes it incredible already. I don't care if it doesn't have a good story. I'll also play through it just for the aesthetic, because it's so cool looking.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, and it's also gonna have a really good soundtrack. Just like
Oh,
everything
definitely.
Platinum touches
Like
has really
everything
good.
Platinum has a good soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a lot of Platinum games where I haven't played them yet, but I love the soundtrack. That's how good they are.
You just have it in your Spotify playlist. Oh, hey, yeah, this is a good song.
I do. I have
Haven't
them
played the game.
downloaded on my phone actually.
Oh my goodness.
I need tunes for when I'm driving around town.
Yeah, I can see that. Their soundtracks are really good. And the soundtrack in the trailer for the game is pretty darn good as well. So hopefully we'll get more music. Hopefully we'll get more details in the E3 Direct.
Oh.
And now let's move on.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and take the lead on this one. But this next title, so Pokemon Sword and Shield, I feel like I'm kind of torn on it. Because on the one hand, Game Freak just premiered a brand new Pokemon Direct recently. Basically showing off more of the Galar region, new Pokemon and all that. But on the other hand, the game is also going to be playable on the show floor. So I'm kind of getting mixed signals here, and I'm not super certain we'll see much of this game during the presentation. I think if we do, though, it'll be something along the lines of like, hey, this game is coming later this year. By the way, look at these cute starters, and whoa, here's what they evolve into. You know, like something like that. But otherwise, I think it'll mostly be just, you know, restating a few things we already know, just to put a brief spotlight on them before, you know, moving on.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have like too much of a focus, especially since we got all that news in the Direct. So it'll be quick. It'll be like just surface level. Hey, guess what? Pokemon.
Honestly, like if they came onto the presentation and were like, look at Wooloo, and it was just like 20 seconds of Wooloo on the screen, I feel like that would be appropriate.
I'd be happy with that. Wooloo is the best Pokemon ever.
Really, honestly. So cute.
Close second is Corviknight, I think was its name.
Oh, Corviknight is so cool.
Dude. Oh, it's so sick. It's like, you know that meme where it's like you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about?
Yes.
You is Skarmory, and the guy she tells you not to worry about is Corviknight.
Oh, that's great. Oh, so I was thinking about this yesterday because, you know, I watched the Pokemon Direct and I was kind of like sitting on my thoughts about it. Corviknight strikes me as one of those Pokemon that I feel like whatever the evil team of this game is going to use. Like, I feel like they're gonna have teams where there's just gonna be. Hold on, my wind chimes are going off. There's gonna be like the evil team, and they're gonna have like their companion Pokemon be like a Corviknight and like a couple of other things. I don't know. It just strikes me as something that the evil team would use.
I think Corviknight's too cool for that. Corviknight will be like, "Oh, you're trying to use me? Nah, buddy. I'm an Uber service, not a fighting service."
Okay,
You got it?
You know what? Actually, that's fair enough. That is a good point because we did see them being used as like taxis.
They're Uber.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I guess that's something to consider too. I don't know. They haven't really talked about the evil team either, so whether or not there even is one is beyond me. But still, Pokemon Sword and Shield is coming later this year. I don't think they're going to spend a whole lot of time on the direct, but at the very least, they're going to have playable demos on the show floor. So we're definitely going to be getting some new information in one way or another.
Well, onwards and upwards, because we're waking up to Link's Awakening.
Oh my god,
a remake.
Did you plan that?
No, I just did it on the spot. So it's a, and I quote, modern reimagining of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening from the Game Boy system 25 years ago.
Good god.
Give or take. Actually, it's pretty much 25 years ago.
Really?
On the dot. Let's see. 1993. It's 26.
Oh my god. Holy cow.
Unless I don't know math. Yeah, 26. 26 years since
This just in Proxence
the
doesn't know
original
math.
Yikes. Since the original Zelda Link Awakening on the Game Boy. Back then, I loved this game. I wasn't alive when it first came out, but like the first game, I played it on my brother's Game Boy because he had one. And he gave it to me when I was old enough to play video games, and I played Link's Awakening, and I was like, dang, dude, this is kind of cool. This is fun.
Baby Proxence.
Baby Proxence. Oh, man, this is so cool. Thanks, bro. And I just love the fact that they've redone it in a chibi style, where it looks like everything's sort of like plastic toys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I get that vibe, yeah.
It's all made out of like plastic. All recycled plastic, I'd hope.
Yeah, exactly. It's an environmentally friendly universe.
But yeah, that it's a cool game. It's basically gonna be the same Link's Awakening, just remastered with the addition of some new stuff, hopefully. They haven't given us too many details about it other than the one trailer that came out around January where they're like, hey, guess what's up? This is getting remade.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any opinions on that?
So I'm gonna level with you. I have my notes in front of me, right? And under Link's Awakening, I only have one word, and it's excited. The only reason for that, though, is because I've never actually played the original. I know people give me a lot of flack about this. A lot. But I've never actually played through in entirety any 2D Zelda game. So I've exclusively played 3D Zelda games up until this point, but I think Link's Awakening might be my first foray into the second dimension. So it looks cool. It looks exciting.
It's not even 2D, it's 3D still.
Okay, well you get what I mean, all right? It's not no Twilight Princess out here, all right? God. But yeah, I've never actually played Link's Awakening, but I'm excited to see it. The trailer that they showed off looked really cool. I really liked the sort of anime-inspired cutscenes that they showed during the trailer, too. I wonder if that's going to be something that's actually in the game, or if that's just part of their marketing material. But nonetheless, everything I've seen of this game looks awesome, and I'm just generally excited for it.
So I think that's it. Just kidding. We gotta talk about the game. The game.
Oh, here, go ahead.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
There he goes. Oh boy.
Battle for Bikini Bottom. Rehydrated. The announcement trailer came out on the same day as the Pokemon Direct, and it took away all the spotlight because, you got Pokemon Sword and Shield, but you got SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
I need to watch that trailer. I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, it's got over 800,000 views already.
Wow.
I didn't think the game would still have that big of an audience, but like...
That is honestly
bro.
really surprising. To me, okay, my history with the SpongeBob game, this one, right, is I remember when this initially launched on, what was it, the GameCube, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so like around that era. And I remember seeing it on like Hollywood Video shelves. That's how long ago I remember this game. And I never actually played it. And the fact that there's a remaster, like when I first saw that headline, I was like, oh, wow, well, that's kind of cool. I guess some people are excited about it. No, like everyone and their mom just came out of the woodwork. Oh my God, that game was my favorite. And I'm like, what? Since when did this game have such a grand audience that I was just oblivious to this whole time?
Dude, I need to go and find my disc for it. I didn't play it on GameCube, but I played it on PS2, I think. I need to go find that disc, and I need to just be like,
flexing on all the
best
new
game
fans.
You guys think you're cool? Well, guess what? I played this when it first came out. Oh, get on my level.
I had no idea this many people love this game, but is it good?
It had amazing replayability. It's a great game.
Okay.
I'll admit, comparing the remakes looks to the originals looks, I think the original still has a better look on it.
Didn't it like get a massive visual overhaul or something?
Yeah, it looks so much better. Oh my gosh, the original game's ugh.
That is so weird. Like, I don't know. This game just never was on my radar, and the fact that it just got shadow dropped the trailer like the same day as Pokemon, and the fact that I saw it on my timeline at all, considering all the Pokemon talk there was, really tells you a lot about how passionate the fans are of this game.
Yeah, and the good thing is they've got like a list of remake features, and it's like a faithful remake of one of the best SpongeBob games ever created. High-end visuals, modern resolutions, and carefully polished gameplay. Brand new Horde mode multiplayer for up to 2 players, so we can play, and I can destroy you in this game.
Let's do it.
And then the best thing ever is restored content that was cut from the original game, like the Robo Squidward boss fight and more.
Oh man.
So basically, they're taking stuff that was cut out of the original game, and they're like, hey, you guys knew about this. Guess what? We're finally giving it to you.
Okay, I can understand that a little bit, because to me, if I was to put it in my own realm of understanding, it would probably be equivalent to, did you ever see those like Pokemon Gold and Silver cut Pokemon?
No.
Like the...
Oh wait, actually, yeah, I did.
So I feel like if they were to do something like that to those Pokemon and be like, hey, in Sword and Shield, all those cut Pokemon from Gold and Silver are making a return. I get it. You know? Whenever I rationalize it like that, it totally makes sense to me. So I'm excited for that game to finally come out so I can see everyone's general hype over it. It's just so funny that a SpongeBob game just feels like it comes totally out of left field for me, and just essentially
the whole internet goes crazy.
Exactly. Like the Twitter servers were on fire. They were like, "What's going on? I don't even know. We need more server space, sir. What's going on? What's causing all this chaos?" SpongeBob. Exactly. They put on like sunglasses and watch the explosions. I don't know. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on.
So I think that's it for the what we know that's probably going to be shown.
Yeah.
So now it's in the prediction territory.
Ooh. Wait, say that again, but with a more dramatic voice.
Prediction territory.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. Predictions. Yeah. No, yeah, so we're heading into predictions territory now, so we've already discussed everything that we know about currently. That's likely going to make an appearance in some form on the E3 presentation, but you know how we operate. We like to make our predictions, throw our hats in the ring, and see what comes true and what doesn't. So, Proxence, do you want to go ahead and lead us off with your first prediction of the year?
My first prediction of the year. Well, I was predicting that SpongeBob would show up, and it did.
God, did you really?
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding 100%.
Like, what possessed you to guess that? But go on.
Yeah, I'm just sitting at my desk one day, and I'm like, you know what E3 should have? It should have SpongeBob SquarePants. No, but a prediction of mine is that Metroid Prime 4 will be shown.
Ooh, wait.
Yeah.
But okay, how do you,
I don't
how do you
expect
figure?
that. No. So here's the thing. I 100% don't expect it to be a main thing. I expect it to be them sort of showing up and saying, "Hey, BT Dubs, after our whole fiasco previously, we're still working on it. Here's a quick snippet."
Do you think they'll have enough content to do that?
I just hope they have something on it beyond what they had the other year, where they just had the logo and everybody goes nuts. I want them to show something,
Oh
because
man,
I'm sure they have something by now, because they've been reworking it.
how long has it
So,
been since they made that announcement?
January 25th.
Oh wow. Okay, so I guess it's been some time, like 5 months.
Yeah, so they should have something.
Honestly,
I hope.
I'm not a game developer by any means, but I feel like 5 or 6 months is enough time to have at least some sort of like presence, something
Yeah.
to show. If not,
I don't know
though,
what
I
they'll
don't.
show.
Maybe they have something like maybe they have some content that they were working on prior that still applies to the new product. I
Hmm?
That game is such a mystery to me. And you know how we were talking about unused content making a return? I feel like
Yeah.
the holy grail of unused content and something that I feel like people would pay so much for is like a working playable demo of the original Metroid Prime 4. That would be
Oh.
insane.
That would be. I'm sure Nintendo would be like, no, 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 no,
But most
no.
importantly, no.
Yeah. On top of that, we'd like to also say no. All right. So, what is your first prediction of the year?
All right. So, funny that you say Metroid as your first prediction of the year, Proxence, because I too have Metroid as my first prediction for 2019's show. Although it's not Metroid Prime 4. My prediction is more along the lines of a Metroid Prime trilogy, sort of like an HD
Ooh.
remaster of the first three. Now, this would be cool for two reasons. Number one, it would make sense considering the development process restarting for Metroid Prime 4. Maybe they need something to, fill the gap, or maybe they were originally planning on releasing the trilogy alongside Metroid Prime 4. I mean, we don't know. But I think that would be cool to see for that reason, and also it would be cool for me because I never actually played through the entire trilogy. I played through Corruption, which I believe was the third one on the Wii. But I never played Metroid Prime or Metroid Prime 2. So, but from what I've heard, they're really good. So, I would love to be able to play through the trilogy on my Switch. I feel like they lend themselves well to the Joy-Con's motion controls because the Wii's motion controls were actually really nice for a first-person shooter. And HD remastering of all of the Metroid like environments and stuff like that for the first three games would look beautiful in HD on the Switch. So, it's essentially just a win-win. And as far as the likelihood of this happening, I feel like it's somewhere on the realm of possibility considering the number of ports we've seen thus far in the Switch's lifespan. So I feel like a Metroid Prime trilogy is not too far off from reality.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility. And speaking of ports,
Oh boy.
that actually ties in with my next prediction for what I hope will be shown, and that is rather port/remaster of the incredible set of games. The exploration, the fun abilities with Mario, the dreams of going among the stars. Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 HD Remake.
Oh my god! What? Proxence! Okay, that's on my list, and I feel like you totally saw that coming from a mile away.
Dude, we've talked about this last year in our predictions, and it didn't happen. So it better happen this year.
Here's the thing. I'm going to keep talking about this until the day I die. If it doesn't happen before that, I'm still going to be talking about it. Like this, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 remastered, or Super Mario Galaxy 3. Like, just Nintendo, take your pick. Honestly,
Why not
I'd be happy
both?
with either, or both, or both.
Yeah, they could do like a bundle package where it's like you pay $120 and you get all three. One of them's a digital copy, one of them is a physical, and then you get three to the side.
Oh yeah. 120 would be good, but let's be realistic. Since it's me talking, I would probably pay any price to have those games on my Switch. Oh, that would be so good. That'd be so good. I feel like okay. Obviously, we both know, you and I, that Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are amazing games. And I feel like with that said, another thing to consider too, if you were to bring them to the Switch, is that it would benefit so much from the concept of like the console on the go thing, because like similar to Breath of the Wild and how expansive that world is and how just massive
100%
massive that game is, right? I feel like Mario Galaxy fits that bill, or like sort of fits that description a little bit. And it would be so cool to be able to take Super Mario Galaxy with me on the go, on the plane to E3 every year, right? I'd be playing it on the plane. Oh my god. And like the soundtrack.
You just show off to all the people on your plane like, oh, don't mind me. I'm just playing Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, maybe Mario Galaxy 3, while we go to the Nintendo E3 presentation. There's other people at E3, but no, Nintendo takes the cake.
Oh man, they would take the cake, my money, my wallet, my house, my chair, my computer,
your apartment, your everything,
my pet snake, everything. They would take everything.
You have a pet snake.
Yes,
hey. It's an adorable snake.
Yeah, he's adorable, but I would give him a heartbeat for Super Mario Galaxy.
Whoa!
I'm just kidding.
Whoa!
Okay, I'm just kidding.
Alec!
Okay.
Jeez!
Not Rusty. Rusty's a good boy, but everything else can go because Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 needs to happen, or Super Mario Galaxy 3.
You just see Alec on the side of a road. In his hand, he has his Switch. He's playing Super Mario Galaxy, and on his shoulder, it's his pet snake. He's just there like,
that's all I need. That's all I need, dude.
In life.
I'm gonna live out of a box. Yeah, that would be so cool, and I feel like it's easy to, maybe not easy, but doable to be able to design it for a new platform like the Switch. I could go on and on about this game, but I'm just gonna go ahead and stop myself there.
Yeah. So if it happens, we'll both be quite excited. You just see the reactions. You'll see Alec in the background in the crowd. He's like, "Oh my god! Finally!"
I'd just be screaming at the top of my lungs.
So what's your next prediction?
Oh, I'm sweating. I got really into that. Okay. So is it my turn? It's my turn, right?
Yep.
Okay, so my turn. And next game on my list, as far as predictions go, is another port. But I feel like one that makes the most sense. So the next game on my list is Skyward Sword HD. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I think that this would be possible. Number one, it would continue the trend of past 3D Zeldas getting HD-ified, So last release we had was Twilight Princess HD. Before that, we had Wind Waker HD, and then of course we had, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask 3D. So I feel like it only makes sense to continue that trend and build Skyward Sword for an HD platform like the Switch. Okay, so another thing. It would still be playable with Joy-Con motion controls. Not as much of a dev turnaround time just because the Joy-Cons have that stuff built in. But even if you didn't want to design it with motion controls in mind, because I feel like a lot of the problems that people had with Skyward Sword was surrounding the control scheme. It would present a unique opportunity for the development team to revisit the game and either make motion controls an option or make them work a little bit better, Because I will admit that as much as I love Skyward Sword, there were a couple of instances where the motion controls felt a little clunky. But besides that, I feel like the game is a wonderful piece of video game history. And in my opinion, the game needs more love. I feel like it's severely underrated. So I feel like Skyward Sword HD is totally within the realm of possibility, and I would love to see it happen. So Skyward Sword HD, and like those beautiful, like artistic tapestries in the backgrounds of all those environments, just imagining those in 1080p would be, it brings a tear to my eye.
There's on my prediction list, there's something that sort of ties in with this. Skyward Sword HD would be cool, but another thing that'd be really, really cool on the Switch would be a HD remake of Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time.
Ooh.
It's something I mentioned last year, I think, in our discussion, where it'd be like a double pack or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
It would be incredible if they did that on Switch, because the game, it's good. It's great. And it'd be great on Switch, just on the go. You're on the plane. You're in the car. Not in the driver's seat. You're in the car. You're on a boat. You're
not in the pilot
at a
seat.
Restaurant. not in the plane pilot seat either. Actually, your co-pilot can just fly. You'll just be there playing Majora's Mask while your co-pilot's like, "Hey, what do I do?" No, I'm playing Majora's Mask. Leave me alone. Figure it out. You went to flight school.
Oh, that's a good idea. So
that'd be incredible too. Like, the more Zelda games we get, the better.
It's interesting too because I feel like this particular generation of Nintendo consoles is receiving a lot of Zelda love lately. Because you had Breath of the Wild at the very beginning, but you also have Link's Awakening coming out, and the potential for a Skyward Sword HD or some sort of remastering of an older Zelda game. I think that would make sense, honestly. Seeing like a 2-pack or something of Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time in one, I would pay top dollar for that. Because in the realm of my favorite Zelda games, it goes at the very top, Twilight Princess. Second place is a tie for me between Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild. So to have almost all 3 of my favorite games, Zelda games, on the Switch, that'd be like a dream come true. So I'm totally behind that idea.
Yeah, it'd be incredible.
All right. So up next on my list is something that I feel like might be a little bit controversial. So the next thing I'm going to predict is that we'll get some form of a Mario Kart Tour release date.
Ugh.
So I know relatively recently there was a beta and it ended, and with that in mind, I feel like the release date being currently summer, that somehow during E3, during this next week, they're just going to shadow drop the game, I don't think that they're really going to be talking about it at all during the press conference. I feel like that's mostly just going to be surrounding, Switch titles. But from what I've heard, the game is supposedly running very well on most devices, and it's dropping this summer. The beta's already over, and the cards are there. I feel like, if anything, Mario Kart Tour is going to be coming out before August, at the very least. I can't see it going anywhere further than that. So I feel like E3 is probably the best time to do that. But regardless of what people are saying and the quality of the game, I feel like it's going to be making its way to a public release sometime in the near future. Whether or not that's E3, I don't know, but I'll go ahead and make the prediction that it is.
So my opinion on that, something that I saw from Leafy, I think this is what he said. He said, my recommendation after playing Mario Kart Tour, buy a Switch and get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Oh, man.
And I 100% agree, because I played the beta, and I can't say much because it says in the little discussion thing that you're not allowed to talk about it, but my opinion is the game plays like how you'd expect a Mario Kart game to play on a phone.
Oh, okay. I didn't actually get into the beta, so I have no clue. But from what I've heard, it runs well.
It runs well.
It seems like the most... I don't want to get too much into it, but it feels like the most problem that people have with it is just the monetization of it. But other than that, it seems like it's fine.
Paywall.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Everything's already included for the low price of probably on discount right now. Yeah. So, what's next?
Are you out?
I'm out.
Okay, so next up on my list is... I don't feel like this is a prediction at this point because it's probably just a guarantee, but I'm going to put it on my predictions part anyway. New Smash DLC. So, here's my thing. While I think it is almost a guarantee that we will hear who the next DLC fighter is for Smash, I'm going to go ahead and predict that we'll also get our first glimpse at the third DLC fighter as well. So, as far as who that might be, there are definitely almost an infinite number of possibilities. But if I was to pick one I really, and I mean really, want to see, Proxence, I think it's pretty obvious at this point. I would want to see Banjo-Kazooie make it onto the roster. It just feels right, Like, it's like, if it's not now, then when? After all, this is Smash Brothers Ultimate, Proxence, meaning that this is the most content-rich version of Smash Brothers we've seen to date, and possibly will ever get. And I strongly feel that a character reveal like Banjo would literally blow up the internet. At the very least, my brain. My brain would just melt.
I have a feeling that Banjo-Kazooie might not be revealed as a fighter in Smash, but he might be revealed for something else. Ooh. Maybe his own title.
Ooh, spicy. I like it.
Maybe there's been about like 73 different clues throughout the tweets from people who work at the company that makes Banjo-Kazooie now. Maybe there's been little hints here and there. Maybe there's been little leaks on websites. I don't know, but I have a rough feeling that Banjo-Kazooie might, maybe, possibly, I don't know, be coming back.
I really hope so. And I honestly, every time I talk about this, I feel like a conspiracy theorist. Because there's so many different clues, right? So you have like the Phil Spencer tweets everyone talks about, but there's also like this toy company that I can't remember the name of that's developing a Banjo-Kazooie figure that's coming out relatively soon, but everyone's pointing to evidence saying that they've made character figures in the past, like Spyro. The figure comes out first, and then they announce the game like shortly after. So there's like theory surrounding that, and it's like
you've got like a whole like
It's all connected, Proxence. It's if you just connect the dots here, then that means that
Banjo's coming to Smash.
just make a cork board on your wall and just put the papers up and connect the lines like a detective and be like, yes, the clues, they all appear to lead to the conclusion that Banjo-Kazooie is getting remade for only the Nintendo Switch.
No.
Forget all the other consoles, it's just on Switch.
I'm not crazy. You guys are crazy. It's obviously happening. The clues are there.
No, but I think Banjo would be cool. He would be absolutely my 100% top pick. But I made a whole video about this, but to just kind of sum it up, there's a couple other characters I would really like to see, like Cooking Mama. I think would be hilarious.
I just want Steve from Minecraft.
Steve? Okay, here's the thing with Steve and I is that I don't think I would get any enjoyment out of seeing Steve get announced for Smash Brothers, but I would still love to see him included anyway, just because I feel like in a game like Smash Brothers Ultimate, it thrives off of, including as many different franchises outside of Nintendo as it can, and I feel like a franchise as big as Minecraft would only do good for Smash Brothers in the long run, so I feel like Steve would be cool. As much of a meme as it is, I wouldn't be super excited about it, but I would be excited for the game. So that would be cool. Master Chief would be cool, I think. Again, like the Phil Spencer tweets and blah, blah, blah. There's a couple other characters too, like the Elite Beat Agents would be a cool throwback character. I also included like Cuphead on there as well. So, yeah, there's a whole list of characters that I would love to see included in the game, but those are just a few samples of them. If you want to see my full thoughts, I have a video of them on the channel and blah, blah, blah. So I don't want to get too deep into it because I want to get into my next point on my predictions list, which is, and you can feel free to let me know your thoughts on this right off the bat, Proxence, is Super Mario Party DLC. What are your thoughts on that?
Happening.
You think so?
Not happening.
Well, you think it's too far on? It was only in October. Or no, wait, was it?
I don't think they've invested anything in Super Mario Party. It's a good game, #free product, but like I don't know. I think there's so many different things coming out, and I think in Nintendo's view, they left the game where they left it. I don't think there's any new stuff that'll come out for it. If there is, cool, but I don't know what they would do. They've got so much other stuff to focus on because they've basically got a game coming out every single month for the rest of this year, and who knows what they're gonna do in 2020. I don't think
it's a good point.
Super Mario Party DLC's on the plate.
Well, I do think there's some credence to, it might be a little bit too far gone, the release and DLC. I am of the mindset that it's like right on the cusp, right? So I don't think it's too far, but I don't think it's too close. I feel like if there was any sort of DLC announcement, they probably would have made it already. But it wouldn't be unprecedented. It wouldn't take me by huge surprise to see Super Mario Party DLC. So with that in mind, I would probably, if there was some sort of announcement regarding this, I would want to see things like maybe some throwback boards. I think that'd be really cool. Like, some of the boards from past games, especially some of I feel like Mario Party 2 is probably the best out of the entire series. So I would love to see some of the boards from Mario Party 2 make a return. Bigger boards as well with more spaces would definitely be a huge selling point for me because I feel like the boards that are currently there are just so dang small and you see a lot of the game already just by playing through the board once. Whereas I feel like a lot of the appeal from past Mario Party boards is the fact that they were so big and expansive and you could take so many different routes, is that you could play through it like once, twice, 5, 10 times and still not have seen everything yet. So I think that would be something that would be cool to see. Maybe some themed board packs. So kind of like, I don't know if you play any like in real life board games, but sometimes they'll release expansions to them and sometimes they're themed. So I feel like something like a spooky pack or like
Sort of like Catan has had 73,000 expansions.
exactly. That was the first example that came to my mind. So something like that, like a spooky pack or something, or like a summer pack, like summer themed boards and character costumes, which is another thing, but I don't want to get too deep into that. And the last thing I have on here, why did I put this on here? I don't know. I'm just gonna say it, and then you kind of just tell me your thoughts on it. It's probably not even gonna happen, but online capable boards?
No,
Yep.
not
Yep,
happening.
that's what I
No,
thought.
No,
That's
no.
what I thought.
Okay, look, if they're gonna do DLC, they'll do something surface level.
Yeah,
No.
that's what I thought. I even put it on here as a note that I know this is a long shot, as that might be something to do with how the game is designed more than anything else. But even if it's possible, I think
Not happening.
I think,
100% no.
Hold on. I think
No.
the addition,
Proxence, I swear to God.
I think the addition of more boards for Super Mario Party would do well overall to breathe new life into this game, since it very much felt like a one and done kind of thing. I don't know what your general impressions of it were, but basically once you played through it all once, it kind of felt like that was pretty much it. Plus,
Yep.
adding
#free product.
yeah, adding more boards would also expand the already, in my opinion, very limited amount that's present in the game currently. So I feel like it could only do good for Super Mario Party. So I'd be okay with Super Mario Party DLC or just new game altogether. Would satisfy me.
I just think it's not 100% likely, but we can dream. We can hope.
Wait, did you say we can dream?
Transition into the dream reveals, because you know
That's
what always
right.
happens with every E3. Sometimes Nintendo will drop something on you that you didn't expect. For example, with that E3 with Metroid Prime 4, they dropped it because no one expected Metroid Prime 4, but then they were like, "Yo, guess what's up? Metroid Prime 4," and people went insane. So it's time to transition into that point.
The dream reveal
And-
section, folks. Here we go.
One thing that I am hopeful for in the dream reveal section is Yokai Watch 4.
Yokai Watch.
Yokai Watch. They're gonna build a supernatural entourage. We can talk to the spirit. Okay, but I want it to come out on Switch in a localized version.
Oh yeah.
Because the game itself has been having little snippets of news come out in Japanese, and with my very rough knowledge of Japanese and Google Translate, I've been understanding what's up with that, and I can't wait to play it when it comes out in a month.
That's the Japan release day, right?
Yeah, but I'm hopeful that E3 will consist of a quick snippet like, hey, guess what? This is a pretty darn cool game. They put a lot of effort into it. It's getting localized for January 2020.
Ooh, you want to know something? Okay. Well, while we're on the topic of Yokai Watch, I have very limited experience with this franchise, but I will say that I really enjoyed Blasters, not just for the gameplay, but also just from like the cast of characters themselves. They're all very, quirky. They're full of personality, stuff like that. And I, for one, am quite excited for Yokai Watch 4. It looks good from the trailers that I've seen, and it's gonna be cool to finally dive into that series and see what it's all about, because I've heard a lot about it up until this point, but I've never actually gotten into it. You know what I mean? So I feel like Yokai Watch 4 would be a pretty good entry point for that.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool. And that's it for that one. I've got one more dream reveal. So what do you got?
Oh geez, all right. So you want to hear my dream reveals, Proxence? All right.
Yep.
So at the very top of my list of things that I would love to see Nintendo get on that Nintendo Direct and reveal to me, number one on this list. This is in no particular order, by the way, but number one on this list is a Nintendo Land sequel. Now,
Ooh.
have you ever played Nintendo Land? I'm assuming by your reaction that you have.
Yeah, I mean, I never had a Wii U, but I played it on my friend's Wii U.
Oh man, it's so good. Okay, so this might be an unpopular opinion. I'm gonna drop this on you. I think this game is a way better party game than Wii Sports ever was. With that said, I feel like
No.
I would. I feel like I feel like the Switch is severely lacking in party games at the moment. Yeah, you have 1-2 Switch, and yeah, you have, as we mentioned earlier, Super Mario Party. But I feel like those don't really, get people together as much as some of the other games do, like Wii Sports and like Nintendo Land. But I feel like Nintendo Land has such a unique spin on the idea of multiplayer party games. Just because it incorporates so many different Nintendo IPs into one thing, and then you also have Mona, which is like a really cool character in herself. But I would also like, here's the thing, being that Nintendo Switch now feels like it's so much more online focused, I feel like a game like Nintendo Land would only benefit from that. So previously you had like some Miiverse functionality built into Nintendo Land on the Wii U, but if there were ever a Nintendo Land sequel, what I would love to see is some form of online multiplayer added to a lot of these different mini games and like, you know, full-fledged co-op games even. The reason for that is because, in my opinion, it's kind of hard for me personally to gather a group of like 4 to 5 people in one place these days, because we're all so built now to be able to play things online. So I feel like it only makes sense to incorporate that as an option. Obviously too, now that we're talking about sort of like the minigame aspect, there would be some challenges translating some of the original games to the Switch. And that just comes from the lack of a separate gamepad. Because, you know, you had some of those games like my favorite of the bunch was Mario Run. So basically, for those that don't know, Mario Run was basically this game where one person had the gamepad for the Wii U, and the other 4 players had Wii remotes, and they were looking at the TV. The Mario player was looking at their gamepad, and basically there were 4 toads running around this map, and Mario, while slightly faster than the toads, was able to escape them. It was up to the toads to kind of coordinate and, you know, work together to corner Mario so that they could catch him. So that was one of my favorite games. And there was another one too, like the Luigi's Mansion one was awesome, where like one person was the ghost and the other 4 players were like ghost hunters. So stuff like that I don't think would be like a one-to-one translation to the Switch, just because of the way that it's built. But I feel like you could take some pretty unique spins on some of those mini games, and I feel like Nintendo Land as a sequel would be super cool to see on Switch. So that is what I would most want to see as far as party games are concerned. One last thing about Nintendo Land 2, and then I'll go ahead and stop talking about it. I feel like if there were another Nintendo Land game, it would present a unique opportunity for Nintendo to include some of their more recent IPs as little mini games as well. So Splatoon being the best example. And I think it would be really cool to see like this huge collection of, you know, various Nintendo games being reimagined as sort of like party-esque, cooperative, and sometimes competitive games. So, in short, there would be some challenges translating some of those over to the Switch, but nonetheless, I feel like it would be a really strong party game, and I would love to see it. So, I'm going to go ahead and stop talking about it now.
Cool. Well, my second and last dream reveal is the one, the only. Viva Pinata Party Animals for the Nintendo Switch.
Viva Pinata.
Have you ever played?
Yeah, okay, yes. It took me a second to process what you just said, but yes. I have
Dude,
played Party
honestly,
Animals, yeah.
Viva Pinata Party Animals. Great party game. It kind of connects to what you're saying, but it is an incredible party game, and on the Nintendo Switch online, I think it would be a wonderful addition. I loved this game on the Xbox 360. It is made by Chrome Studios.
Really? I thought that was a Microsoft first-party game.
Well, I think they only develop for Microsoft.
Ah, okay. That would probably make more sense.
I think it's under Rare now. And if it's under Rare, then there's a chance. But, you know, I'm excited for that. If it's a possibility, it would be wonderful. It's a big dream, unlike some other stuff, because this has never been on a Nintendo console other than Pocket Paradise, which was on the DS.
What?
But I'm hopeful.
Wait, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Viva Pinata Pocket Paradise was on the DS.
Holy cow. I love Viva Pinata. I've never heard of that before. That's crazy.
You can now go get it.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. I'm going to go. All right. Discussion over. I'm walking.
So, yeah, thanks for watching, everybody.
I'm walking to my car.
Buy that.
No, but that's a really good idea. I feel like Viva Pinata would be at home on a Switch console. It feels like it would be.
Yeah, so that's it for me. What else do you have?
Next on my list, and oh boy, I don't know if you're ready for this one, Proxence, because I have a lot to say about this. New Paper Mario game, right? So, it's been, what? Color Splash, I think, came out in 2016. So I think it's like later on this year that game is going to be 3 years old. So it's been essentially 3 years since the last proper Paper Mario game. And for me personally, I really enjoyed Paper Mario Color Splash. I know that one, as well as Sticker Star, left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. But I really like Color Splash. I thought it was solid, not quite as great as some of the past installments, but nonetheless, I would love to see a new Paper Mario game introduced onto the Switch. A couple things I'd want from it, though, is first and foremost, please, for the love of God, please bring back partners, because characters like Cooper, Goombella, Admiral, Bobbery, even, were all fantastic, and I feel like they added so much character, so much funny dialogue to the already hilarious writing style that Paper Mario has. And another thing, too, I would want it to be a little bit less segmented, because I don't know if you have any experience with the Paper Mario series or anything, but in Color Splash and Sticker Star, they were a little different than previous installments because they kind of played out where you had this overworld and you select the level, you play through the level, go back to the overworld, and then select the next level. You know what I mean? Whereas Paper Mario, here's like the gold standard a lot of us use is Thousand Year Door for the GameCube. So Thousand Year Door had a little bit different of a mode of operations where it would basically have an overworld, and you would just kind of explore that. There wasn't any sort of segmentation as far as levels or anything like that. You would just kind of walk into a world, and it would sort of be open-ended in a way. So you would kind of explore, see what sort of puzzles there are to solve, and when you start solving the puzzles, the, more parts of the area that you're in start opening up, and then the story progresses that way. So I feel like a new Paper Mario game designed in that fashion would be amazing to see. This is in my dream reveal section, so I don't think it's likely that we'll see anything about it this year, but nonetheless, I would be tickled pink to see something like that during this year's show. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on a new Paper Mario game. And if you don't have anything else to add on that, Proxence, I can go ahead and move on to my last item on my list.
I've never really played Paper Mario, so yeah.
You've never played Paper Mario?
Nope.
What?
I will eventually. It's okay. It's okay.
What the heck? Oh my god. Okay, do you have a GameCube?
No.
Do you have a Wii?
No.
What the? What? Proxence? Okay, last time we had a discussion, I found out that you have never owned a Wii U before, and now I'm finding out this?
So moving on.
Oh my god. Okay then, well, moving on. Okay, so the last item on my list is definitely a very random one, I feel like. I feel like these are two games that people haven't thought about since like 2005. But I'm going to go ahead and end it on this. So the last two things that I would love for Mr. Furukawa or whoever's going to be in charge of this year's E3 Direct to come up on my screen and announce, it would be a new installment. I feel so silly saying this out loud, but I want a new installment of either Nintendogs or Elite Beat Agents. Those are two DS games that I put so many hours into. Elite Beat Agents especially. Did you ever play Nintendogs or Elite Beat Agents, Proxence?
I played Nintendogs, so I'd be fine with the remake.
Oh yes, everyone played Nintendogs, and I feel like it's a good game, okay? It's a good game. It's relaxing. It's very much like it knows what it is. It's like you take care of your dog, you pick up its poop, that kind of thing.
Yikes, man, that's really on the spot.
Hey, well, you do. You get little baggies and everything. Like, I'm just trying to take care of a wiener dog is what I'm trying to do on my Switch. So, new Nintendogs would be amazing. Ah, God. I really want to see the Nintendogs craze make a comeback. Because Nintendogs and Nintendogs 2, man, I remember when those games first came out and like everyone and their, I was about to say dog, but everyone and their mom bought that game. And I remember there was like newsreels too, even of talking about it like, oh, this is a good way to like train your kids the responsibilities of caring for an animal and blah, 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 which I don't really wholly agree with. But nonetheless, I really just enjoyed seeing so many people just infatuated with this game because it drew people to the idea of like, oh, well, the DS maybe is a little bit more than just a video game console. And I think that introducing a new Nintendogs game to the Switch would enlighten people in a similar way to the Nintendo Switch. You know, kind of using it for more of like educational purposes or just like, you know, those kinds of like teaching moments, right? Elite Beat Agents, on the other hand, I don't really think has necessarily any sort of educational value. It's just a really fun rhythm game. So, okay. I realized in recent years that not a lot of people know what this game is. So, have you ever seen Elite Beat Agents?
Nope, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
Okay, so to describe it briefly, basically, Elite Beat Agents is a rhythm game, and if you're familiar with Osu, you know, those little circles, and like there's an outer circle that closes on it, and you tap it to the rhythm, and blah, blah, blah. You could probably just look up gameplay, but it's...
Just bring Osu to the Switch. Don't bring
I would
Elite
be
Beat
so happy
Agents.
with that, too. You don't even understand. But the thing about Elite Beat Agents, though, is that it's got its own sort of spin, its own sort of presentation about it. So basically the premise is that there are people in the world that are going through these daily, like these troubles that they have in their lives, these struggles, if you will. And for instance, like one of the first scenarios that you see in the game is this girl. She's what, maybe like 13 or 14 or something. And she takes up a babysitting job. And she finds out that she's maybe a little bit in over her head, and things start to go south with the kid. You know, he's a little rebel, doesn't want to do what she's told or whatever. But what she does is she calls on the Elite Beat Agents to help her through this problem that she's having. So basically their role is to play some pumpin' jammin' music and dance along to the music to give her the energy and motivate her to get her through these problems in her life. So there are so many different storylines and so many different characters in like different scenarios like that throughout the game. And it's just, you know, if Nintendo were to announce something or show something like this, it would get so much traction so quickly of people being just like, oh my god, what the heck is this weird like rhythm game that's coming to the Switch? Elite Beat Agents and Nintendogs, I feel like, would be hilarious additions to the Switch's library. And I feel like it would round it out a little bit too. Very casual game mixed with a proper hardcore rhythm game, because it can get pretty hard. So that does conclude my list of dream reveals. I really need to get you into Elite Beat Agents or something, because like
You need to play Viva Pinata first, and then we'll talk.
hey, well, I've played Viva Pinata is the thing. I just never
need the
played like
DS
the
one.
pocket version.
Pocket Edition.
Pocket
Mike
edition.
had Pocket
Yeah, right.
Edition.
Exactly.
No,
that
I'm
thought
kidding.
came
It's
to my
called
head,
like
too.
Pocket Paradise or something.
Holy cow. Okay, well, we've been talking now for about over an hour. So,
Yeah.
all right. I think that rounds it up. So, well, Proxence, thank you so much for sitting down and talking about this year's show with me. Good to have you back on the internet. And speaking of, where might people find you on the World Wide Web these days?
YouTube.com/Proxence, Twitter.com/Proxence, and same goes for Alec. His links will just be down below. Make sure to follow.
Yeah, but if you guys like what you heard, feel free to subscribe and let us know down in the comments. What are you all most excited to see at this year's E3? Be sure to let us know in the comments below, as we would love to hear from you. So, Proxence, you have any closing thoughts or anything like that before we take off?
And as always, make sure to play Yokai Watch.
There you go. All right, go home and play Yokai Watch, everyone. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you all in a couple days.
Peace out.